I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record Newswatch. The murder trial of Timothy Handel got underway today in Orange County Court, with prosecutor John Guidell telling the jury that Handel strangled his girlfriend, Newburgh native Katie Connolly, last summer, then dismembered her body, kept it in a freezer, then rented an excavator and buried her in the backyard of the house he was staying at on Riley Road in New Windsor. Handel's attorney Paul Trachty painted a different picture in his opening statement, saying a violent struggle erupted during an argument over custody of the couple's 2 children, and that Handel later found Connolly hanging in the garage and then, quote, panicked. The jury will determine if Handel is guilty of murder and manslaughter charges. An investigation is continuing into a 2-car crash that left 1 person dead early this morning in the town of Montgomery. It happened shortly before 5 a.m. at Route 17K and Bailey Road in the vicinity of Valley Central High School, with that section of 17K closed for hours following the fatal collision. Town police were withholding further information pending notification of relatives. Keep checking back here at Record Online for updated information. A new development today in Sullivan County's stolen Torah case. 41-year-old Christopher Colville of Liberty pleaded guilty this morning in Sullivan County Court to the felony charge of criminal possession of stolen property. Colville admitted in court to having the stolen Torah, valued at $35,000, stashed at a residence in Woodridge. The Torah and some cash were taken during a burglary at the Landfield Avenue Synagogue in Monticello back in December. Colville, a registered sex offender, had been a handyman at the synagogue and had done prison time for attempted sodomy and attempted assault. As part of the plea agreement, he'll receive a prison sentence of from 3 to 6 years when he's returned to court in August. Superintendents and board members in almost all of our area school districts had reason to smile today, as one by one school budgets received the approval of local voters last night. In Middletown, the margin of victory was just 60 votes, where a second proposition demanding the state modify and reform its current system of funding public education passed overwhelmingly. Middletown District Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Eastwood said state legislators must get the message that districts like Middletown face dire consequences unless changes are made.
This budget for the last 3 years has been very difficult. You know that last year we laid off about 111 positions, this year 43. And we know that next year, if the New York State Legislature don't do anything different, that it's going to be, for a better term, a bloodbath in education in New York State next year. So it just seems every year it's getting worse and worse and worse. The resources are getting less, the mandates are getting more.
In 2 Ulster County districts, budgets went down to defeat. In both New Paltz and Highland, voters failed to provide the 60% supermajority each district needed because their budgets exceeded the state's imposed tax cap limit. He said he and others came to Albany to show the governor who they are. Actor and Callicoon resident Mark Ruffalo.
And the evolution that I've seen happen in this movement, from a handful of people to a swelling, beautiful, activated and engaged group of citizens that have gone out and learned and educated themselves and have empowered themselves.
Was one of about 200 people who took part in an anti-fracking protest and concert Tuesday at the state capitol.
If you want the best of it.
Ruffalo has been one of the region's more vocal opponents of fracking, the controversial method of extracting natural gas from shale, process under consideration in several communities in the region. Ruffalo and other speakers argued that water and air contamination problems would become a reality in places where fracking isn't banned. State residents appear to be split on the issue. A Siena College poll out today shows 37% support drilling, 36% of those responding oppose it, and 38% of those surveyed said they didn't have enough information to form an opinion. Well, things definitely went from bad to worse for David Topelke, the 41-year-old Roscoe man who was arrested after state police say he fell off the roof of a house he was burglarizing. Troopers had been called to the area after getting a report of a car accident. Police say Topelke had driven his car off Riverside Drive in Roscoe and gotten stuck prior to his attempted break-in. He was taken to Catskill Regional Medical Center to get treatment for injuries that included cuts suffered while breaking windows in the residence occupied by an elderly man. After being released from the hospital, Topelke was charged with burglary, possession of a controlled substance, and driving while ability impaired by drugs. And it's been labeled America's oldest schoolhouse, a Town of Goshen building that historians believe General George Washington visited during his time in our area. The schoolhouse dates back to around 1730, and the stone structure has a new lease on life now that 40 BOCES carpentry students have finished up a roof replacement project on this piece of history that sits off Route 17A. Today at BOCES, students and their instructors celebrated the completion of a project that provided some real on-the-job training.
Most of the time the juniors are in the classroom working on smaller projects. We were able to take the juniors and seniors out this school year, and I think a lot of them finally realized that what they learned in the classroom they were able to put to use, especially on this project, for a real good cause.
It helps them think, it helps them use all the tools they've been learning during the year and all the different skills that they've learned. They can use it on a real life project that really makes a difference for the community.
Well, doing this actually made us have to be perfect. So just sitting down, reading how to do it, you don't really get like the full idea of it. And it's a lot easier once you get out there and start cutting rafters and you see how everything works, and after a while you get the hang of it.
The students began replacement of the old leaky roof last October. The menacing chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution owns the historic schoolhouse, and the student project saved their organization thousands of dollars. Our weather for the next couple of days will help us dry out after all the rain. Thursday will be sunny and pleasant with temperatures reaching the mid-70s, and Friday will be mostly sunny with the highs again around 75 degrees. Start your day with the news you need and the features you enjoy by reading the Times-Herald Record. And when news breaks throughout the day, you will find it right here at Record Online. For Record Newswatch, I'm Tracy Baxter.